All right, so the main theme of this video is why you don't have to give people second chances. And I'm going to explore this using the Freudian term repetition compulsion, right? Throughout my entire life, I have kind of like seen people's behaviors, and I haven't always communicated to them that I didn't like what they did. Other times I would just kind of like stop associating with them. You're allowed to do that. It wasn't really ghosting, it was more so just like, oh wow, like your behavior sucks and I don't like it and I'm not going to associate with that anymore. This started happening more so in the past like 5 to 10 years of my life rather than before that. Um but really, the fabric of this video is to talk about the reality of any given individual rather than why you don't have to give multiple chances to people, right? Um, I'm going to make this very, very clear. Everybody is repeating a pattern from somewhat of an unhealthy. Hold on a second. Gotta itch my armpit. Somewhat of an unhealthy. Um, well, I shouldn't say somewhat of an unhealthy. More so, everybody comes out of childhood with some level of trauma, whether it is severe. I mean, I'm not here to compare trauma, of course, but what I am here to say is that every single person comes out of childhood with something, right? Nobody escapes childhood without some level of trauma, and that's just the way that it is. Some people have trauma that is so severe that it pretty much cripples their capacity to be a functioning individual, and that is sad. It's sad to see when that happens. Other people, it's not so much that it's crippling. Again, not to compare or anything. But some individuals are healthier than others, and that's just the reality of it, right? The individuals that are healthier are more flexible in terms of, you know, mental, emotional, physical, all that stuff, right? Other individuals that are not so flexible um, tend to be more rigid, closed minded. It's the difference between a flexible and a rigid personality, right? Rigid personalities are less healthy, and you're likely to find it more challenging to have stable relationships, whether platonic or romantic, with them. Um, but getting back to the repetition compulsion, right? Um, every single person, until they do something about it, meaning doing the work in therapy, uh, is repeating a pattern, right? And so the reality of this entire situation is that it's less about looking at someone's behavior and, saying to yourself, um, wow, I don't like this. I'm going to give them a second chance. They're showing you who they are. And the only thing that can really change that is therapy, is doing the work on yourself. I understand that some people would argue that you can do that without therapy. I'm not here to say what you can or can't do with or without whatever it is. What I'm here to say is that what you are seeing is who they are. And it is a pattern that they have been repeating for a long time, right? Um, it is very unlikely that unless they decide that they want to change, they actually do the work, they actually go through therapy, that they're actually going to change. That's just the reality of it, right? So I used to be interested in giving people second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth chances, right? And me personally, I don't like the idea of chances. I've been in relationships, um, more so like romantic relationships, no names, but with women where there was a theme of chances. I've given you so many chances. I don't like chances first and foremost because um, you need to understand that who a person presents themselves as is who they are. It's who they've been. And unless they are actually in therapy, and I would argue that everybody needs therapy, it doesn't matter what, the level of severity of your trauma, everyone needs therapy. But they're showing you who they are. And unless they're actively working on, changing their behaviors, not a single fucking thing is going to change. Right? So you can give them 10 chances, unless they're in therapy and they're actively working on themselves, which not everybody is. Um, the chances that anything about what it is that you don't like in regards to how they are with you, it's not going to change. It's not going to change. And that's just the reality of it. So this is something that I've come to the understanding of, the realization of, and from my own personal experience, therapy, doing the work on yourself, actually changing, actually choosing different, like actually, this morning I woke up, and after 34 years, I um I decided to change something about myself. I decided to choose a different course of action, right? And this is the result of me actually doing the work on myself, right? 3 years of therapy, right? Um, Not everybody wants to change. Not everybody is interested in changing. A lot of people are actually far more interested in being like, you're the one that needs to do the work. You're the one that needs to change. Right. And I'm not here to say that that's wrong, but I would argue that that's more so, um, I don't know, blame shifting, deflecting, whatever it is, right? The reality is that you don't have to give people chances. And not just that, but it's more so along the lines of, if you do give a person a chance, are you aware that what's actually taking place is repetition, compulsion, something far more complex than, yeah, I'm just going to bet on horseshoes and hand grenades. Let's hope that they fucking change. You can get hyped up on that hopium game all you fucking want. You can. You can. Right? And you can have them come back around being like, I've changed, or I'm changing, or I realized this, that, and the other. Um, it's likely that they haven't, because change takes time. It does. It takes waking up on a daily fucking basis and choosing the different thing, which can be challenging. I know from firsthand personal experience. Choosing to let go of toxic patterns, choosing to let go of things that don't serve me. Um, it really takes time. So it's less about chances, and it's more about, this person is this way, they've been this way, and the likelihood that they're actually going to change. They're capable of changing. I would argue that everyone is capable of changing. But the question is, are they actually fucking going to? And also, not only that, but if you really want to see if somebody's going to change, one thing that I would argue to look at is their personality, right? Is it rigid? Is it flexible? Rigid personalities are far less likely to self reflect, realize that there are things that they need to do to better their lives, actually do the fucking work, actually stay consistent with it. It's just not likely. Personalities that are flexible, that are far more open minded, right? If you're flexible, you're far more open, right? You're going to be open to, oh, wow, look, I have fucked upness, and it's fucking up my fucking relationships. I should do something about this. Yeah, far more likely. Um, and that's just the reality of it. So you really don't need to give people chances, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, eighth, 30 chances. You don't. You can if you want. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do, but you don't have to. All you have to do is recognize that, thanks to Freudian psychology, I believe it was Freudian psychology, the coined term repetition compulsion explains a fucking lot about why people continue to do the same fucking thing, even if it's not healthy, that they learned from childhood, right? And so we can understand it from that standpoint and realize that, oh, they're repeating a pattern just like everyone else is. Are they willing to consider changing to do the work to this, that, and the other? No. You might want to consider not sticking around.